Hi friends, my name is Narasimha and I'm doing my BTech first year CST Data Science group in IRE College. Today, as a part of my concept video, I want to explain the subject of English, which is familiar to us. And today I want to explain about a new topic named the presentation skills. Nowadays, for a student or a person who is studying a new language or who want to share their feelings with others, or a teacher who teaches us, the presentation skills are must and should. For in a communication area or communication place to share the views or thoughts or feelings or feedback, the presentation skills should be effective for the listeners to listen. It should be effective for speakers for to listen and to gain the knowledge from the speakers to the listeners. Let us know first what is presentation. A presentation conveys information from a speaker to an audience. Presentations are typical demonstrations, introduction, lecture, or speech meant to inform or persuade. Persuade means to convince or inspire or motivate or build and goodwill or present a new idea or product. Presentation means it's just like a communication process, but here in communication process there are two actions which will come from speaker and which will come from the listener. But in presentation skill, the only speaker will speak and the listener just listens. And at last, if the speakers is given a chance of feedback, then the listener will get the place of speaker. Interactive presentations in which the audience is involved are also represented more and more frequently. Next, coming to presentation skills. Some skills should be maintained by the speaker for an effective presentation. Not only for presentation, for any topic or for any content to be effective or to be convincing or to be very easily understood by the speakers, then the skills are very important. Skill means the ability of a person. Presentation means to communicate, means the ability of person to have an effective communication is known as presentation skills. Presentation skills are skills you need in delivering effective and in engaging presentation to a variety of audience. These skills cover a variety of areas such as the structure of your presentation, the design of your slides, the tone of your voice, and the body language you convey. These 4 points are very much important in your presentation. The design of your slides. While you are giving a PowerPoint presentation, the slides which you are using or which you have created should be attractive for the reader or listener or who is seeing your slides. It should be attractive by which want they should gain the keen. They should be keen to see more slides. And the tone of your voice, the stress mark or the plainness or the familiar voice should be maintained. And the body language. And the body language which you are using should be very understandable, and the symbols which you are using and the symbols which you are using should be easily audible. Next, presentation skills can be defined as a set of abilities that enable an individual to interact with the audience, transmit the messages with clarity, engage the audience in the presentation, and interpret and understand the mindsets of the listeners. These skills are refine the way you put forward your messages and enhance your persuasive powers. Next, these all are about presentation skills. Not only this, there are many presentation skills by which you can give an effective presentation and which will make your presentation to improve the goodness of you on you by the listeners or the speakers who are usually listening to your words. Importance of presentation skills. Why these presentation skills are important in our day-to-day life, in an interview or in our normal communication. Why these are very much important to learn? Because presentation skills help an individual in enhancing his or her own growth opportunities. Because while we are learning English language, their learning practicing is very much important because while practicing only we will come to know our mistakes and we will rectify it and we will get an better and best communication skills. In the same way, while we are practicing the presentation skills, the practicing and performing is very much important to improve our oneself growth opportunities. In addition, it also grooms the personality of the presenter and elevates his levels of confidence. Good presentation skills enable an individual to mold his message according to the traits of the audience. Means the listener or the speaker who is presenting his own thoughts or views or feedback to the listeners of the listener maybe one person or a crowd. While he is presenting his own ideas, then his presentation skills should change according to the traits, according to the mood of the audience, or according to the face expressions of the audience. By seeing that, the speaker should change his way of teaching or way of talking or way of presentation skills. Next, having good presentation skills not only increases an individual's chance of success, but also enable him to add greatly to the organization. Which I have said before, not only we get the opportunities of success, but also the opinion on us will be increased in society, in an organization, and the other people will think about positively about us. Structure of presentation mainly has introduction, body, and conclusion. The introduction is also known as topic sentence, which is 2 to 3 lines of speech. Means the introduction should be short and clarity said. The introduction should be what you are saying, and body of the presentation is whole about the topic, and conclusion is the feedback or the recall or the recap of the whole speech. It may include visual ads because then while we are considering the PowerPoint presentation, then the words or the sentence or the paragraphs more we write, the visual ads, which the pictures should be good for the better communication. Next, easily it is usually followed by questions and discussions. Any type of communication, the two-way process should be must and should. Means the speaking from the speaker side and the listener side both should be in parallel, by which the presentations will be cool and neat and it will be greatly organized. We also have a handout for the audience to take away. Next, coming to some presentation skills, which I said before, introduction and body. The introduction should orient the audience to your subject and purpose. Be sure to carefully define the central point, which means that in the introduction, we should not say the whole topic of our given topic. We should just say what the purpose we have stood there and what's the subject or what is the topic we are saying to the audience. You have to be sure and carefully define the central point. Next, body. The body of your talk must proceed logically because while the crowd is listening to your presentation, they should be logical minded and the memory should be open, the mind should be open, and they should be very keen, which means eager to listen your further words. Means for that you should make your talk must be proceed logically. You could present each important idea or point several times in different ways because a listening audience needs several opportunities to fully absorb meaning. Research the audience before presenting. This will enable you to better understand the traits of the audience. Next, structure your presentation effectively. In the before point, I want to say that research the audience. I have said before that according to the mood of our audience or according to the interest of the audience, our presentation skills should be changed, by which the audience will be eager to listen to our words. Structure your presentation effectively. The best way to do this is to start with telling the audience the introduction, what you are going to present. I have said before, you have to do practice, then you have to structure the presentation effectively and properly, before going to direct attack. Do a lot of practice. Rehearse, but do not go for memorizing the presentation. Means rehearsal reduce your anxiety and enable you to look confident on the presentation day. You have to do rehearsal how to present, but you should not do more rehearsals by which you can lose confidence on your presentation and you will byhead the presentation. And on the presentation day, by doing so, on the presentation day, you just read the presentation and come off. The listeners who are listening to your presentation will not listen it properly and you will not get expected output. And the conclusion. The conclusion again states your main points and what has been learned, which I should be recap. We should recap the all points which we said before, and what has been learned or shown, but you also may raise implications inherent in the findings. The feedback is very important in the presentation. And thank you, friends. I hope my information shared by you is useful, and thanks for watching.